Something many of you might not know is that back in 2019, I had the chance to cruise to the Caribbean for 9 days with a ton of investors from all over the world, including none other than Robert Kiyosaki. Now, what's also, one of the reasons why I have what did my friend used to call it? An affinity towards Robert Kiyosaki is that his offices were also in the same alleyway as my apartment for about 5 years. And so I got to spend 9 days on a boat with a ton of investors, including him. And it was an incredible experience. It opened my eyes up to the thought of generational wealth and what that meant, and a ton of other things. I was 100% on this boat the most financially broke person, like without the shadow of a doubt. And there was people who were younger than me. There were people who had just graduated high school that were also on this boat. Those are some stories for maybe another day. And I want to share here today one of the many things that Robert Kiyosaki told me that stays with me through this day. First, if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, do yourself the favor and check out Rich Dad, Poor Dad, understand the quadrants, the financial cash flow quadrants, and also check out his book. As you can see, I'm a big fan here. Check out his game, Cash Flow. One of the things Robert shared on the boat that was profound and he got very spiritual, very metaphysical with us on the boat as well. It was a very small, I think there was 200 or 300 of us in total. So sometimes in the room it was everybody. Other times it was 3 people, 10 people, 15 people. And so what he shared with me that I want to bring you here today, I'm not trying to bury the lead here, is that there are 2 sides of the coin. As many of you know, I carry a silver dollar along with me. I got to share that story here sometime. But he was talking about the 2 sides of the coin, that there are actually 3 sides. That there's, one side of the coin you could look at as positive. Then you have the other side of the coin, which you could kind of look at as the negative polarity of it. But then you also have this in between. You have this, maybe if we look at it from a science or physics, you have this like neutral side of the coin. But most of us look at it as like positive or negative, or we look at it as Republican or Democrat. We look at it as good or bad. When in reality, there are shades of gray in between. And that there's a third side of the coin that if you teeter that third side, you will walk away with some profound insights. Now, after being on the boat with him for 9 days, I also joined a mastermind that was absolutely incredible from Lewis Mocker. And Lewis has some of the greatest stuff because he takes the metaphysical and turns it into very applicable business, financial wealth strategies. And Lewis also integrates the idea of hermetics, which we don't have the time to go into depth on here today. But one of the things that he taught us was that this phrase of the half wise is that most people walk around half wise, meaning they know one side of it and they know all of that side and they think that's the only side. These are the sort of people who get very charged up emotionally on like politics, for example, or on one specific subject and on one side. They have extreme views to one side, and the ancient Hermeticists, if I'm saying that right, they would call that being half wise. You only understand one side, but you think that you know it all. This is a symptom of a lot of younger people as well, and I'm guilty of this in my life right now more than likely, and chances are there's something that you also get charged upon and charged up on in life that makes you half wise. It makes you blind to the other side. It makes you unable to add up the whole picture, and so you start to make decisions and you start to live your life with not the full picture, not with the full idea of the wisdom of the thing that, insert topic here that you might be half wise on. And it always stuck with me because as I've gotten older, I found that to be the case as well, is that there is black and white, but in enough time in whatever industry you're in whatever topic you can think about and what you're doing in life, you start to see both sides of the equation. And in one area of your life or at one time in your life, you might really need or see only one side. And as time goes on, you start to see the other. And so this analogy has stuck with me of the third side of the coin, because if you can teeter that line and not get too charged up on either side and not get hooked by one side's opinions of the other and vice versa, you can live a life where you can find your own truths. And so I know this is a business channel, and we talk a lot about how to build your online business, scale your online business, and be successful as an online coach and get all of the clients that you're wanting. But some of us get too charged up on one strategy or another, or one way we do things in our life or our business, and it makes us half wise to the truth. So as you're watching this right now, I want you to think about the areas in your life where you might be operating half wise. Where if Robert was here with you in the room right now, where he could break down for you the three sides of the coin, right? There are two sides if you look on both, but there's a third if you turn to the side, and you can see those grays in life, and you can see maybe where the lines blur together. And I think that if you operate with that in mind in your business, it allows for you to not be so blind sometimes to one part of the truth or the other, and it allows for you to make better decisions. So I want for you to take this advice right now, and I want for you to think over the next couple of days of where in your life are you only seeing half of the truth. Maybe it is politics. Maybe it's something to do with religion. Maybe it's something to do with inside of your business or in your social circle. But the more you can rid yourself of these areas in your life where you get super charged up or have intense emotional feelings about a subject or another. A lot of people get charged up on words, right? So a certain word just really gets them. Don't say this word around them, and so you have to walk on eggshells around them. And it's like those people are just charged up about the wrong things, right? And they're using their energy in all of these places when we can be using it to be so much more productive in our businesses, in our life, and making an impact on the world. So I carry a coin with me for many reasons, some of which maybe I'll share here on this channel one day. But nonetheless, there are two sides of the coin and three when you turn it on its side.